So here, we could just talk about this. This is fine, right? So the idea for the St. Louis Blues Society Archive program is to collect and create, and then most importantly, disseminate the stories of St. Louis blues music and the people who created it.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you would be, is that a good idea?
Well, who doesn't want to be in the movies or anything related to it? I think it's a good idea. I think it's legitimate for many, many reasons. First of all, music is part of the solution to what the world's problems are, not the problem. So anytime somebody's involved in music or anything related to it, I think it's a good idea. Anybody that has dedicated their lives to it, well, perhaps it'd be a good idea that somebody came along and said, hey, we're aware of the fact that you've been giving your life to music ever since you were this age or that age, and we think it's a good idea that the world knows about you and what you've done and your contributions and what has been on your mind that made you create the music that you did. Was it a hard time? Was it a good time? What was it? Can you tell us in, so many words? Is there a way to go about explaining it? Can you demonstrate it while you're telling us? That'd be good too. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So you've been performing for almost half a century, yes?
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who I don't know about who were we all stand on the shoulders of the people before us, mm-hmm. right? And there's a lot of people, and in other cities we find large books full of names and recordings and pictures and mm-hmm. videos. Chicago mm-hmm. or New Orleans or Memphis or what have you. We don't seem to have that here. Do you have an inkling on why it's not like that?
I think we do have it. I think The Devil at the Confluence is a really good book. I think that Kevin Belford went to a lot of effort. He put a lot of effort into something that is really interesting, and anybody that's spent any time around this music knows. And what I'm talking about is every state, every city has this idea that was brought about by whomever, I don't really know, but they say the blues was originated in Mississippi. They say the blues was a big deal and maybe originated in Chicago. And if you pick up that Devil at the Confluence, what Kevin Belford did was wherever there has been a proclamation about the starting point of the blues, say for instance down in Mississippi, Kevin Belford went and researched and found that during that time there was actually music being played just like that in St. Louis, Missouri. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a lot of people that have been playing music for a long time. It's really important to know that it is possible. It doesn't have to be that the blues started here or blues started there. It is quite possible they could have both started in the same place, sure. in a different place at the same time, sure. which makes a little bit more sense because that's how we are,
Right, it didn't happen in a straight line, but when the historians write it down, it's hard, it gets complicated. And
right.
I've always found in St. Louis that our blues not being dictated by our discography, because we don't really have one to speak of that you can go research, right? You can't see all the records that the record companies put out here because we're not organized in that way in the industry.
Yeah.
It's out there. And P.S. Kevin Belford's book should be in every house in all of St. Louis.
Right.
Everyone should know that those people are their people. Like St. Louis people are St. Louis people, right?
Right.
And you should have pride for that.
Right.
So because of that, we always ask, what is the St. Louis sound?
The St. Louis sound is what the blues sounds like when a St. Louisan is up there playing it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I couldn't. That's perfect. So,
And, we all
Yeah.
have influences on each other.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Lordy. I mean, Tommy Bankhead used to play. I used to love the way he would play minor against a major. And I'd go, what's that sound like? What is that? And
Yeah.
then somebody finally told me, hey, man,
Right.
this is what Tommy Bankhead is doing. Doc Terry. Doc Terry claimed to have written Help Me. It's not Sonny Boy. It was Doc. Doc said that. And if you heard Doc,
Yeah.
oh, my goodness gracious, man. He could sing like nobody else. Silver Cloud, Peter Chapman, Memphis Slim and Silver Cloud. Silver Cloud was our Memphis Slim, And the more you find out about, you were telling me the story about Barbara, the elephant, right?
Yeah.
How she used to mess with you,
Right.
But it was all in a, it was for fun. It was she was pulling some fast ones on you. Peter Chapman, Memphis Slim, and Willie Dixon, two big guys, monsters, right? They were over in Europe, and they played together over there as a duet. Some guy, I can't think of his name, a German guy, brought him over there. Well, before Memphis Slim and Willie Dixon got over there, the blues musician, oh man, every time I tell this, I think about this, I can't remember his name. He was over there. What was his name? I'm black. Call me if I'm black. Don't. But if I'm black, get back, get back. Oh, what was that name? If you're all right, if you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around. If you're black, get back, get back.
Yeah.
He wrote that song. And anyway, when he was over, he was one of the first guys ever to go over to Europe and play. I'm going to have his name before this is over with now.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and he played all over Europe, and they'd say, hey, we want to get some other guys. We want to get some other guys over here from the United States to play the blues. And he said, no, man, I'm the last one.
That's right. Sure.
There's no more. I'm the only blues guy there is. You know. I mean, he was just protecting his turf. And I thought it was kind of funny. I probably made a few guys upset here or there, But I went, I'll be darned, man. That's pretty wild.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. But anyway, I'm going to think of his name here in a minute.
So, because you have to go on stage soon and teach people how to play bass, I guess one of the questions we've asked everyone here is if there was one St. Louis musician, living or dead, that you'd like to tell the whole world about, that they don't know about for whatever reason, that you've played with, or who would you throw out there to them?
No, I couldn't say one. I'd have to say them all.
All right,
I'd have to say them all. I mean, and the list is like a litany of our lives as blues musicians, right?
Yeah.
And in particular, I liked Michael Prokof. I thought he was a great bassist. He made it look easy, And so, that was like a magnet for me. I mean, something that made me feel like, I'm sitting in a bar. I was the doorman at a bar, past Dory's on 3834 Laclede. And that's what I did to make a couple of bucks. I didn't have much going for myself. And Shaft came on the jukebox because I put the money in the jukebox. And Shaft came on the jukebox. And it comes on, and that line, do-do-dum, do-do-dum, do-do-dum. So I'm playing air bass. I don't have a bass, I don't have anything like it, but I'm doing it with my hands while I'm listening to the Shaft. And Kitty O'Brien walks by, and she says, Artie, you ought to play the bass. That's how I got hooked into the bass.
Yeah, and so just my understanding...
I didn't know about Mike yet,
So my understanding of that story then is that you actually took a loan out to buy a bass and an amp. Is that right? For a very small amount of money now?
$600. And I didn't have a job, except for that I was making $20 a week at the door. And I went to that bank across the street from the High Point Theater. And I walked in there and I just told this guy, I said, man, I told him my name, I told him my story. I said, I want to buy a bass. I will pay you back. I promise I will pay you back. I'll do anything to get my hands on a bass and start playing it and learn what it's all about. And I promise you, if you give me the money for that, I promise on my heart that I will pay you back every dime and whatever interest you need. And he gave me the money, man. I didn't even have to fill anything out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you think he just pulled that out of his pocket?
I don't know where it came from, but he gave me a check from the bank.
Okay.
You know, and I went and bought a Fender Precision.
Wow.
No, a Fender Jazz, and an amplifier. Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Still hopes, still playing,
Still
still hoping to
writing
get, still trying to figure this damn thing out, man. Yeah.
Well, Artie, thank you very much for spending time with us. We appreciate your music and
My pleasure.
decades of music and everything. So thank you so much.
All right, Jeremy.
All right.
My pleasure. Thank you.